Hey guys, welcome back to Judo Highlights, day 2 of the European Championships. And I have to start with this guy, Grigolashvili. Just an absolute monster on the mats at the moment. Now a 3-time European champion, and you can see by the back patch, also world champion. And he's probably going to be Olympic champion this year as well. Now we'll have a look at his fights from the first round all the way through to the final. First fight for him was up against Jalo, and probably gave him the biggest problems out of all of his fights. This one ended up being decided by Shido. As you can see here, just the gripping of the two guys came pretty close, and they did eventually give the third Shido to Jalo. Grigolashvili just edging forward a little bit more. Now it's kind of interesting because last time these two fought, I mean, Grigolashvili destroyed him, so Jalo kind of getting a feel for Grigolashvili. Might potentially cause an upset sometime in the future, maybe at the Olympics, who knows. But after that fight, it was just full steam ahead for Grigolashvili with his kochigari here into a really nice jujigatame. And Grigolashvili, he's very underrated on the ground, has good newaza, especially the jujigatame. Now have a look at this throw against Esposito, absolutely incredible. He must have really strong legs because I did not expect Esposito to go over like that. And in the final as well against DeWitt. And DeWitt, I mean, he had a great day making it all the way to the final. But Grigolashvili just really showing his class. Took out DeWitt pretty quickly. And you can see him here controlling the sleeve. He's very happy to control the sleeve. Grigolashvili has a lot of attacks off that sleeve. And then have a look at this. Just kind of an opportune moment. Hizaguruma for Ippon. So Grigolashvili taking gold at under 81s. Got to be the favorite heading into the Olympics. Let's have a look at some of DeWitt's highlights as well. And this is going to be DeWitt's best performance, at least in recent years. He was looking really good, throwing people. And this is traditional DeWitt. Very tall guy, and he loves kosotogake. Loves getting nice and tight and close to people, and kind of using those long legs of his. Now for the bronze medals, Borchashvili, he went up against Esposito, winning that contest by osaikomi. And then on the other side of the bracket, we had Sagimuki up against Albarak. And a very nice kind of interesting sequence here. Albarak, good understanding of the rules, and wins with this nice sumigaishi throw.
Oh my goodness, with a reaction.
And if you're wondering who took out Muki earlier on, it was Esposito with this amazing serinage. Really nice stuff. What's with the Italians? They have really nice techniques. And so a bit unfortunate for Esposito, goes all the way through the repechage, ends up empty-handed against Borchashvili. You know, it's kind of amazing here by Borchashvili. Watch what he does with the feet. You'd think Esposito would be able to reclaim these feet pretty easy, but no, Borchashvili pushing down on the ankles and gets just enough for a wazari. Under 73 now, and just another guy who's on top of the world right now, Heydorov. And just like Grigolashvili, he also becomes a 3-time European champion. So I'm pretty sure he's going to also be a favorite heading into the Paris Olympics. Although I do kind of like Lombardo's chances against him. Hashimoto on the other side, I don't think Hashimoto's going to get through Heydorov. Now, he definitely doesn't have the throwing prowess that Grigolashvili does, but he's really good on the ground. And one thing that Heydorov is really good at is just the flow of the game. He's very good at just kind of making things awkward, getting people to the ground, getting a wazari against them, and then kind of transitioning into the newaza. You know, these guys at the top, they all have their own unique styles, which is just excellent to see. So Lavrentev, he made it all the way to the final, losing to Heydorov, but Lavrentev looking pretty good. And I mean, these Russians, there's just so many of them that I'm finding it a little bit hard to kind of keep up with it all. So a silver for Lavrentev, and then we'll talk about the bronze medals now. Gaba losing to Lavrentev, goes through to the bronze medal contest and then takes out Olin from Finland. Gets a wazari score here and then just manages to stay in front until the end of the time. Good defense here, and just burning the clock with a little bit of newaza. So bronze for Gaba, and then on the other side, of course, Shavdatuashvili. He ended up losing his quarterfinal match against Lavrentev, which was pretty ridiculous, going very deep into golden score. If you have a look at the timer over in the left hand of the screen, 7 minutes and 44 seconds into golden score. And actually we're seeing this a lot recently, so I think the refs are kind of holding off on that third Shido a little bit. But unfortunately, Shavdatoshvili, he gets done here. And so he goes through the ripper charge, and then he's up against this monster, Osmanov, and I've got to say that's the worst head wrapping I've ever seen. So Shavdatoshvili comes out, does really well defensively, kind of absorbing Osmanov's attacks. And then of course we know Shavdatoshvili has a great gas tank and does really well when things hit golden score. So it eventually does get there. And you can see just things starting to change a little bit. Shavdatoshvili just being a step ahead. And this was the final sequence. Just a nice Orchigari by Shavdatoshvili there. So before we get into the women's results, just a couple of highlights from the men's. Gaba with a really nice Sodesuri Komigoshi here. I didn't actually know he had this technique in his arsenal. Thought he was more kind of a Serinage, Ochikochi kind of guy. And then Lavrentev just stays strong in the position here for a Kochigari, defending the Uranage. So for under 63, and we'll start talking about the bronze medals first. And Russo, another Italian, just the Italian team, really strong at the European Championships. Russo makes a bit of a mistake here. Goes down to the ground. Pretty weak attempt with the Kosoto here. And then Russo takes advantage of it, throws her over with an Uchimata. On the other side of the bracket, Leski goes for an Ippon Seoinage here. Stays strong in the position, continues driving, and eventually gets it. And then in the gold medal contest we had Leishout versus Zachova. Now this one had a bit of back and forth. Leishout getting an early Wazari. But then Zachova, she comes back, ends up getting an Ippon. And this is a really nice technique. Throws that elbow through for the Sode. Keeps driving. Wraps her arms around it. And gets the Ippon. So great gold medal for her. Taking out a really high level competitor in Leishout. Now for under 70 it was a little bit weird. Telitsido from Greece. She ends up going through the semi-final, not having to face anyone. Her opponent, Batkirit, might be injured. Not too sure what happened there. So no opponent in the semi-final. I guess you kind of get to rest and then you have a lot of energy going into that gold medal contest. But it was Matic who ended up winning this one, just dominating the Kumikata. And then you can see here just a hand on the pants. Ends up getting a third Shiro for that. And then lastly guys, of course, Butt Creek, she was out of the semi-final, not able to compete. But because she loses, she goes to the bronze medal contest. Wasn't able to compete in that. And so Sevchenko didn't have an opponent, walks home with a bronze medal. And then on the other side of the bracket we had Tsunoda, bit of Osaikomi here to get a bronze medal for her as well. So that's it guys for day 2. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah, and I think when you think about hold downs, that